Hey everyone, it's Onida, and in today's video we are going to be looking through all of the popular books in the recent years and we are going to see whether or not I've read them. So the first one is from Reader's Digest. 25 book talk books that are actually worth the hype. We shall see if I have read them and whether or not they're worth the hype. Verity, number 1. Verity by Colleen Hoover. It's on my bookshelves. I have not read it yet. I've heard a lot of good things about it, but also when you go on Goodreads, no, like I haven't. Like it's a very weird. Colleen Hoover seems to be a very hit or miss or very divisive, very controversial author. They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. I have heard of this book and I have not read it, unfortunately. I think it's about two boys and they find out when they die or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. Act Your Age, Eve Brown. Act Your Age, Eve Brown by Talia Hibbert. I actually DNF'd Chloe Brown, the Get a Life Chloe Brown one. I just was not a fan of that book. I don't know whether I want to continue on with this series. I think I already said no, and I'm just going to stick with that just because I did not gel with it. I did not gel with the sisters at all, unfortunately. The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. I do agree this one is worth the hype. I love it a lot. It's a really, really good book in my opinion. Can't wait for the last book. I do have all of Olivia Blake's books. Just have to read them. I just really enjoy her writing. People We Meet on Vacation, or You and Me on Vacation, depending on where you live in the world, by Emily Henry. This is another really good one. I do believe it is worth the hype. It follows two best friends. They've been best friends for like 10 years. They go on holidays together every year. Something happens between them two, and we do get like the past and the present, and we do get to see what happened between them. Babel by R.F. Kuang. It is sitting on my bookshelves. I just have not read the book yet. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I have read this book. I cried like a little bitch. 5 stars. It's really, really, truly a great book. Delilah Green Doesn't Care, and you know, I really don't either. It doesn't really call out to me, so I have not read this book. I don't think I will. I don't know. You never know. I'm Glad My Mum Died by Jeanette McCurdy. Have heard nothing but incredible things about this book. Have not read it yet. I'm very behind on the popular books, as you can tell. My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Ottessa Moshfegh. I really enjoy this author. I enjoy her books. I've read 2 from her so far, Eileen and Lapvona, and they are good. If you like a really weird, dark, disturbing book with like dark, disturbing characters, she's your girl. I haven't read this one though. I do have it on my bookshelves. I want to get to it. Transcendent Kingdom by Yagyasi. Have not read this book. Every Summer After. I know I don't really care for that book. Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I have read this book. It is really good. The atmosphere and the vibes and the gothicness of it was really good. I just don't think I should have given it a 4 star. I should have given it more like a 3. I think it was a bit too generous with my rating. I don't hate Silvia Moreno Garcia. Mexican Gothic was a good book, but it was just a good book for me. Nothing that really stood out, except for the Gothic vibes. The Gothic vibes were pretty spot on. It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. I've heard about this book. Will I ever get to read it? Who knows? A Court of Thorns and Roses. It is sitting on my iPad. Not on my iPad, in my iPad as an ebook. Just haven't got to it yet, but I have heard nothing. No, I've heard mixed things about this one too. I'm really enjoying Sarah J Maas's books so far. I'm making my way through Throne of Glass and I'm really, really enjoying that series. Time as a Mother by Ocean Vuong. I've tried reading an Ocean Vuong book before. I don't think he's an author for me. Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Su Lin Tan. I've heard of it. Intrigues me a bit, just haven't read it. I think it's like Chinese mythology or something like that. I think it's a duology as well. Shadow Me by Tahereh Mafi. I don't have an interest in this series at all. A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. Have heard a lot of things about this book. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. I've just heard a lot about it. It is on my bookshelves. I'm staring at it right now. I just don't want to pick it up. I do and I don't. I want the pain, but I don't want the pain. I want to read it to know what it's about, but I don't want to read it because I don't want to know what it's about. Red, White and Royal Blue. Unpopular opinion. Did not like this book at all. I don't like the characters. No, I did not like it at all. Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. I do have this book. It's on my bookshelves, just have not read it yet. She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan. I've heard of it. Haven't read it. Will I read it? Who knows? Aristotle and Dante discover the secrets of the universe. I do think it's worth the hype. I love this book. It's a really good book. Second book I was not a fan of. I just had some issues with it. But the third, it is a good book. Bunny by Mona Awad. I really want to read this book. It sounds like it'll be right up my alley. It sounds like it's going to be like dark, twisted, kind of weird, disturbing, messed up, kind of fun. And it takes place in a sorority, and we all know sororities are pretty cult-like anyway, and they're creepy on their own. Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lowe. I have heard of this book, and this cover is just freaking stunning. I believe it's sapphic. I actually haven't heard too many things about this book. Will I ever get the chance to read it? Who knows? And we have a BuzzFeed article. I have not looked at BuzzFeed in years. And these are some of the most popular books trending on Book Talk you should know about. Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I do have the book, have not read it yet. A Court of Thorns and Roses we already talked about Seven Husbands. The Love Hypothesis. It is sitting on my bookshelves. I don't know why, because the fact that this was Raylo fan fiction makes me want to barf in my mouth. Just no thank you. I've heard good and mixed things about Ellie Hazelwood. I don't know. We'll give it a go, I guess. It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I've heard really good things about this book. Haven't read it. I should also mention I have not read Love Hypothesis as well. Verity, we've already talked about. The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Isn't this about where she's like a cousin that people don't know, or is she just like some random person that has the inheritance of like some billionaire? The family members of this billionaire that died are thinking, who the hell is this person? I think that's what this book is about. Haven't read it. Am I interested? Not really. The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. This one kind of intrigues me a little bit because I thought this was heavy on the romance, so I was kind of avoiding this series, but there's actually little to no romance in it, I found. So that intrigues me. And I've heard really good things about the series as well. These are Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. I do have interest in reading Chloe Gong. I have not read any of her books. I just haven't gotten around to it. There's just been other priorities in my life. The Poison Heart and Cinderella is Dead. I have heard of these books. I don't know. It doesn't really speak to me. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. I am very much interested in this book. I've heard really, really good things. It's a series as well. And it is definitely on my radar. I just have not read it yet. Ace of Spades. I do have an interest in this book. It does seem pretty good, just have not read it. The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. Yep, I do have a bit of an interest. I do want to slowly dip my toes into some romance as like a palate cleanser between the dark books that I read. Just have not read this one. They Both Die at the End we already talked about. Shadow Me, no thank you. The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. Yes, I do believe this is a really good book. I have read this and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. You know, I have read this book. The twist at the end, like, it was done well. The twist at the end, it was like, oh wow, I did not see that coming. I don't remember what rating I gave this. I think I may have been a bit too generous, but the way that twist was done, I did not really see it coming. But at the same time, I was kind of like, oh, okay. Like, I was like surprised at how good that twist was written. Yet at the same time, I was like, oh, okay. Okay, and next, I have a little quiz. I've read Heartstopper. I've read Red, White, and Royal Blue. Beach Read, no. We Were Liars. It Ends With Us. Normal People, no. The House in the... Oh, yes, I've read this one. Every Last Word, no. Seven Husbands, yes. Midnight Library, yes, but I was not a fan of it. Circe, no. Duke and I, no. Ready Player One, yes, I really enjoyed it. Have read Mexican Gothic. Divergent, yes. The Hunger Games, yes. And that's pretty much it. Show me my results. I've got plenty left to read. Oh, yes, I do. And my TBR continues to get ever longer. It really does. That is it. That is all, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comments. Have you read any of these books? Do you think any of them will be worth my time? With any of the books that I have said I don't have an interest in reading, do you think I should read them? I do have a lot of catching up to do. It's just manga is really taking over my life right now. It's exactly what I want to read. Let me know about those questions I have asked you. and I will see you in another video. Bye for now.